my father and my grandmother. They both came from another country. They both came with a vision of leaving a legacy for their children and generations to come, and having a better life.
Yeah.
So my father for teaching me so many skills through the restaurant, even though I was resentful during that period and not wanting to be there, wanting to succeed on my own.
Yeah.
And not realizing what value that my grandmother living with us meant.
Hi, welcome to Sharing with Susan B, telling stories from the heart. We're looking to inspire, telling stories of struggle, vulnerability, and lessons learned. Hi, I'm Susan Blaine, and welcome. I'm here with Janet Seto. Excited to have you here on the series, The Social Architect. That's Janet's handle. The socialarchitect.ca is her website. So let's talk a little bit about what you wanted to be growing up. And I love Janet's story because it's going to be one that a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that are in the family business. So when you were growing up, you didn't want to work for the family and wanted to do something on your own. You studied at Algonquin, hotel restaurant management, got honors, bar management, honors. Just until recently, you were the general manager for your family's restaurant, the Bamboo Restaurant in Gatineau. 44 years your family's had that business, and you've worked there for 30 years. Worked there since you were 8 years old, right? I'm going to touch upon, though, some of the volunteering that you did while you were working, because I think that had a lot to do with sort of what you're doing today in terms of, not that you didn't learn any great skills in the restaurant business. I worked in that too, so I know you can learn great skills in that. But volunteering, I mean, you're a candy striper for the Civic Hospital, a helper for the Red Cross, and then event coordinator for a number of events. And this is all volunteer. VP of sponsorship and ticket sales for a CHIO event, ESACs, Animal Rocks, World of Women Ambassador in 2016. You've done a lot in terms of volunteer. You also are presently the director of the Ottawa chapter for Hub Inc., and that's hubinc.ca. But let's talk about what you're really passionate about right now, which is the social architect business. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I love to bring people together. I love to make sure everybody is taken care of in any event, in any room, but to develop those relationships, to build connections, to bring them together, to see collaborations and bring them together. Nothing brings me more joy than to know that I put people together, whether, okay, I don't do this all the time, but I've put a couple of friends together and they've been married over 20 years,
Wow.
Another almost 20, but
that's a whole different
yeah, it's a whole
architecture.
We're not talking about that for business.
We were talking before this about some of the struggle, because this is what we really like to focus on in this series, because, you know, there's success in business, and I know you're having some success, and your family business was a very successful one, which you were part of, but it's not without some struggle. Now, one of the things that we talked about too was the fact that, you know, you walked away from a secure job that would have been there forever, and you could have taken it over eventually if that's what you wanted to do.
Yes.
And that's scary too.
It is. But I really didn't want to work for 16, 18-hour days like my parents did growing up. I basically had weekend parents, summer holiday parents. So I'm totally grateful that my grandmother was present. Parents didn't have to worry about childcare for 5 children.
Wow.
So I didn't want the same life. And unfortunately, my father passed away 8 years ago, so I had to step into that role sooner rather than later. And my family went into culture shock because I stayed home. I had 3 kids in 3.5 years, and I had to stay home. I started daycare, so they were used to me being at home. So all of a sudden, I'm gone. I'm at the restaurant because I thought I was the only one who could step in to help my mom at the time. And I was at the hospital. We were running back and forth. I was always at the restaurant 16, 18 hours a day.
Well, and I know we talked about one of your personal struggles was getting over the guilt because of that obligation that you felt to continue in the family business.
Yeah.
And that must be difficult to walk away from that, and especially when everyone's trying to keep you there.
Yes. Well, I am still there one day a week. So it was easier to do everything in one day than to train someone else to come in and do everything I've learned in 8 years in like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I do all the big stuff on one day, and I'm hoping that some family members will step up. It's not happening.
Fingers crossed. Hold out, hold out. But one of the things we talked about too is a struggle, and I can see how this pattern of the sense of obligation that you had would sort of lead to a struggle that, and all the volunteering that you did and all the things that you did for free for people is now one of the struggles is saying no to things, right? And that you don't want to do, right? That's a struggle for a lot of people. I think a lot of people can relate to that, especially women. Saying no, you know, it's not easy.
Nope.
How you doing with that?
I'm getting better.
Yeah, good.
I really want to make sure that I believe in the organization I'm supporting.
Yeah.
And that the only way I can help them is if I'm passionate about their passion as well.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the better fit.
It's alignment, right? And practicing the art of saying no.
Yes, that's huge. I'm getting better.
Good. And you have sort of a different mindset around giving now, right?
Yes. I've been asked again to do more events that I am passionate about. So now I'm going to be asking for some reciprocity back.
Smart.
Instead of a monetary value, because everybody's volunteering, I'm going to ask for some sort of valuable exchange, if it's possible.
And how are you feeling with this new mindset?
More empowered.
Yeah. What advice would you give, Janet, to your younger self?
I am an amazing connector, that I love to help people get their businesses to the next level by making valuable connections. Because if you don't have that strong connection or that valuable relationship, and your network is worthless.
Yeah.
Because it's not authentic.
Right.
So I have a really good skill.
Yeah, you have a lot of value. And teaching that is of value as well. And bringing people back to that understanding of the power of connection, right? The power of authentic connection.
Exactly.
And how that could really help you build your business and take it to the next level. I love that. And there's a real need for that. And the architect, the social architect, I love that name for a business too. Rapid fire questions. Are you ready? Learn a little fun stuff about Janet. Who's your favorite superhero, Janet?
Oh, I always loved Wonder Woman.
Oh, who doesn't?
Those bracelets.
Favorite food indulgence?
Oh, cheesecake of any flavor.
Cheesecake of any flavor? Baked or not baked?
Both.
Does it matter? Okay, I love it. Oh, you're a real connoisseur. Someone you admire?
That's a toss-up between my father and my grandmother. They both came from another country. They both came with a vision of leaving a legacy for their children and generations to come, and having a better life.
Yeah.
So my father for teaching me so many skills through the restaurant, even though I was resentful during that period and not wanting to be there, wanting to succeed on my own.
Yeah.
And not realizing what value that my grandmother living with us meant. At the time, we resented having her there because we didn't need someone to watch us, right?
Sure.
We wanted to be able to raise ourselves. But knowing now what I didn't then, having 3 children, or myself, but having 5 children to put them into daycare would have been crazy.
Yeah.
So
you admire that for
do.
sure. Something that not too many people know about you.
I drive special needs children.
That's right. Yeah, that's
Every
lovely.
morning.
Every morning.
It's my 13th year coming up,
Wow.
and it brings me so much joy.
Wow.
Some of them they're nonverbal, they don't speak, but they're still cheerful, they're happy, they're fun, they're funny. Oh my goodness, the expressions I get sometimes, or the jokes that I don't even know that they're telling, it's so amazing.
That's 13 years. That's incredible. What's your definition of success, Janet, in one sentence?
Taking joy in every day, doing what you love to do, and living your dream.
Yeah, you're doing it. What's something that always makes you smile? Sounds like
every
those kids.
morning.
Yeah, those kids. Sounds like,
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite book or a movie, a quote, something that really...
Oh my goodness. I've been listening to Jen Sincero.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say those names.
Oh, why not? Why not? What's the title of her book? I forget now.
I'm a badass.
I'm a badass, yeah.
I'm a badass at making money. I'm a badass at...
It's the badass series.
She's just a badass series, yeah. She's pretty empowering in a lot of the things that she talks about, the struggles herself and having no money and everything. And she shares how envisioning and using the energy of the universe will help get you what you want if you believe it enough.
And she's created an amazing career for herself. Janet, I'm so grateful that you participated in this series and that you shared, because I know a lot of people are going to be able to relate to the family business aspect and the obligation that we feel, and that you had the courage to break free and to do what you're doing now and to be able to give, and I really admire that. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
But you can find out more about Janet on the socialarchitect.ca is her website. We'll have that here for everybody. And she's on Facebook and LinkedIn. We can check her out. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing. I was so inspired by our guests today. I hope you were too. We've got some really cool things coming up. If you have any comments or questions, please contact me. My information's below, and we'll see you next time.